It is important that when we are talking of, because for somebody that is hearing you talk about ancestral healing for the first time, that individual might sort of be frightened, because of course that is how we have been educated to be scared of who we are, to be scared of our tradition, our belief system, and all of that. But what a shame. We should never be ashamed of who we are, because connecting to the ancestors is saying connected to your father. One day, a man and a woman came together. They gave birth to a child. You are that child. Okay, only that one day before then, there was a man and a woman. They came together, they gave birth to a child. That child is your father. Only that before then, you basically can trace it like that for as long as you want. Those are the people we are talking about. They are your people. So when we say try to retrace our steps back to how they used to live, so that we can find a solution to our problem, learning from them, this is not something that is mysterious. If we are afraid of this, it's because we have been miseducated. There is a serious work that we are doing on this with a lot of scholars on how to help people to retrace their step back.
Which incorporates intuition, what you came into the world with, who you are. These practices are vital to a community of our traditions, and it is at our peril if we cast them aside or engage in any belief that denigrates these traditions. Moreover, the Yoruba tradition emphasizes the importance of community, something we in the diaspora are in desperate need of. Ceremonies, festivals, or communal events that bring people together, reinforcing the bounds of shared identity and collective narrative. This is what we're doing, what we're engaging in fortnightly in these audio rooms. There are so many different ways to keep these traditions alive in the diaspora. So we need to do our research, talk to our elders, talk to family members, pick out things that you can modify, that you can incorporate in your daily life, that will enable you to feel that connection. You have to be intentional with this thing. It's not just going to happen out of the blue. We are doing our part. Other spaces that you may be engaged in, begin the conversation. You will be amazed how much people connect to it, how people resonate with it, because there's so much healing that needs to take place. And I pass the mic over to you, Brother Bay.
Thank you so much, Reverend Gloria. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that, and I really do. You see, it is important that when we are talking of, because for somebody that is hearing you talk about ancestral healing for the first time, that individual might sort of be frightened, because of course that is how we have been educated to be scared of who we are, to be scared of our tradition, our belief system, and all of that. But what a shame. We should never be ashamed of who we are, because connecting to the ancestors is saying connected to your father, connected to your mother. Any tradition, any belief system, any education that teaches you to hate that channel is the institution of an oppressor. They are trying to detach you from who you are. Because people think ancestors are some demons that are coming from the tree or somewhere, but they have no understanding that by ancestors, we are talking of the people who you literally were one day inside their system. Like you were literally inside their consciousness. Without them, you cannot be here. Maybe I need to make a little explanation of that. You see, one day, a man and a woman came together. They gave birth to a child. You are that child. Okay, only that one day before then, there was a man and a woman. They came together. They gave birth to a child. that child is your father. Only that before then, you basically can trace it like that for as long as you want. Those are the people we are talking about. They are your people. So when we say try to retrace our step back to how they used to live, so that we can find a solution to our problem, learning from them. This is not something that is mysterious. If we are afraid of this, it's because we have been miseducated. There is a serious work that we are doing on this with a lot of scholars on how to help people to retrace their step back. It has nothing to do with how much education that you have gotten. It has nothing to do with whether you are not even educated at all. It has to do with, do you know who you are? Do you know who you are? Reverend Gloria was talking about Ori. You see, among the Igbo people, that is called Chi. Among the Esan people, that is called Ehi. The other day, I took time. Usually, my articles are usually very short, about 1,200, more or less. Okay, long for some people. So, talking about Ehi in my language, because I wanted to explain what I understand by it, it took me 5,000 words to explain it. Because, there are a lot of dynamics in the explanation that we need to do. Spirituality for us is not a kind of luxury, it's the way of life of the people. We are literally connected to the spirit. That is our understanding of life. I'm not saying this is a global understanding. This is how we see life. And we shouldn't be ashamed of that. You see, Dr. Marcia was saying before that you don't need to over water down your story because you want to be accepted. Tell the people, this is how we see it. It doesn't necessarily have to be the way that they understand it. But you know what? It was not supposed to make sense to them because it is not about them. Your life is not to be lived to the pleasure of another person. You are here full packaged. You are full, complete. You don't need another person to give you authentication before you can become a person. You are already a person, full and complete. All right, I know this can be a little bit deep for some people, but it's okay. Now, to Dr. Matia, I have a question for you. And the question is this. We now know about the advantages, the benefit, and all the things that we can say about building collective narrative and using it as a way to reinforce who we are, our identity in the world. But are there some challenges? Do we have some challenges here? What do you say about that?
I think we have a lot of challenges, but one of the greatest challenges us. And that's part of the problem why our narratives do not connect generations or bridge generational gaps, because there are parts of our stories that we have not accepted and that we keep hidden because we carry this burden of shame or unacceptance and this inadequacy, deep inadequacy to fit in wherever we are. And it comes from this great desire for self-actualization and to excel, meaning to have the good life. And so the gap between the older and the younger generation and the need to make our generations that come behind us better off than us and not go through the struggles in our minds, and I put struggles in quotation marks, that we have experienced that have built us and made us resilient. We don't want them to go through it, so we do not share these experiences authentically with the younger generation because we don't want them to reinterpret the stories or to misinterpret the stories. And that's where we go wrong many times, because they must be able to hear the stories, to have clarity of who they are and why they are and what they must remain as they reinterpret and adopt these stories to their current realities. It